welcome back to the Journey to the FarLands. Alright, well, let's see here. Garbage and crap as usual. Alright, let's get busted out of here. And let's see, nothing really unpleasant about, so we'll do that. And let's see, that is sunrise, so I need to go that way. Yeah, to the west, onwards to the FarLands. Yeah, and it's long overdue. At least it feels long overdue. I am finally starting to get back to, well, starting to get back to me. It's because for most of the last couple of weeks, I have been off in the land of Migraines Are Us. And this is so extra special, not fun, it isn't funny. And I am so glad, so ever grateful that it is finally, at least for the moment, apparently over with. For right now. I know it'll probably be back. It's always back. But for now, I'm free of it. And that's worth a lot all by itself. And yeah. In any event, getting back to myself, I'm getting back to, well, doing this. Journeying onwards to the FarLands in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. And someone asked, why am I using such an old version? Which, by the way, is a popular question. That and variations on that question are very common. This is because the FarLands do not exist in any version of Minecraft after Beta 1.7.3. In Minecraft Beta 1.8, they made a change in the code that had the effect of removing the FarLands. You know, the FarLands does not exist in any version after Beta 1.7.3. Yes, I am aware that there are mods that make them available in modern versions. I do not foresee ever using such a mod. I won't say never because, let's face it, never say never. It'll make you look like a doofus every time. Sooner or later, you keep saying never, you're going to end up looking like a doofus because you said never when you ended up not doing never. But anyway, I don't foresee, actually, I do not anticipate using such a mod, we'll put it that way. Besides, Beta 1.7.3 terrain gen. Okay, there's nothing super Beta 1.7.3 right back there, but the terrain gen in beta was awesome, and I love it, and it's fantastic. And somebody else asked, why does my cobble look the way it does? It looks the way it does because when Mojang came out with the quote-unquote new cobblestone texture at the official release of 1.0, I decided I didn't like it. So I went to the trouble of finding out how and making a resource pack that would restore the beta cobblestone and the beta gravel and all of that. And especially since in this series I'm doing it in Beta 1.7.3, I see absolutely zero reason not to make absolutely sure that I'm using beta textures. Because, yeah, this is beta. Although, that doesn't stop me from using beta textures everywhere else, too. You know, I even use some beta sounds in some places. Like the bow sound and the original door sound in those situations where I can get it to work, and so on. And so that's pretty much that. That's the status of things there. In terms of, in terms of doing what I always do, which I should have done at the beginning of the episode, because that's the way we do things. The size of the world, 5,693.87 gigabytes. No. 5693.87 megabytes. I'm thinking, wait just a minute. There ain't no 5,000 gigabytes here. Yeah, anyway. This is the morning of the 471st Minecraft day since leaving spawn. And we're continuing on, journeying to the FarLands of Minecraft, which is located some 12.5 million blocks from spawn, in pretty much any direction, by the way. Yeah, you think of it as spawn being a location in the middle of the map. And the FarLands is way out there a long ways. Shut up, Cal. Nobody ever wants to hear you. Anyway, in that fundraising effort, the goal is to raise, let's see, $6,346.45, upon the completion of which there will be a live stream of F3ness in which I will spend an undetermined amount of time exploring and journeying towards the FarLands, looking in particular for a particularly epic, appropriately epic location in which to stop and make camp, sort of, kinda, and press F3. The last time something like this happened was on March the 25th of 2017. At that point, I had gone 610,000 blocks. That was in March of 2017. It is now over a year later. I expect I have made some reasonable amount of progress since then. Oh, yourself. Anyway, moving on. Now, due to assorted recent things, I got off track on something. I got off track on something rather important to me, and that is the subject of weight loss. And what's really cool is, really bad, is that I was making decent progress. I had gotten my weight down into the 280s. And, you know, starting from 300, that was pretty good. And then I've had some issues. And these issues have kind of caused me to stop paying any attention to weight loss issues at all. Shut up, cow. I mean, really, that thing just butts right in there and starts making all that god-awful noise. Anyway, yeah, I got away from the weight loss thing, and I just forgot about it entirely because I was busy dealing with other issues. And it was such that I focused all of my attention on this other issues because it needed to be. As a result, however, I got on the scale this morning. And I was really not overly thrilled with what I saw, because the scale had the number 308.3 on it. And I really, really hate seeing anything like that. And so I am going to get back to doing something about it. In fact, I've already begun. As of this morning, it starts. What I'm going to do, or what I am doing, I'm reverting to something that was working. It was working great until things got interrupted. The interruption, last fall, October, early November, I was doing pretty good with some weight loss stuff going on. And then in November, I had a heart attack, and the whole world kind of turned upside down from there, and yeah, that I have been a long time getting back to things. Although you'd think that weight loss would be part of recovery from and prevention of another heart attack. Yeah. But, in any event, better late than never, I say. And I'm getting back to doing that. And this is the plan that I had going before that was working very nicely, and I was happy with it. I didn't mind doing it. I liked eating the food, which is important in any dietary kind of thing. If you're, any kind of a diet plan, whether this plan for your diet has something to do with losing weight, bulking up, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you don't enjoy the food, the plan is going to fail. Period. End. If you don't like the food that your diet plan calls for you to eat, then you are going to fail. Hands down, completely and totally. That's going to happen. Just as sure as the sun rises, just as sure as Minecraft is a world full of squares, or cubes, whatever, it's guaranteed. Absolutely, it's going to happen. There is no stopping it, there's no changing it, there's no avoiding it, and there's no denying it. If you don't like the food, your weight loss plan is doomed. And I say that because, fortunately, the food that my plan calls for is stuff that I like. Quite a bit, actually. The only thing that I am less than thrilled about is the fact that this is generally not the Instaprep ready kind of food where you just slap something in the microwave for 30 seconds and it's done. Which is my favorite way to prepare food. Because, I'll admit it, I'm lazy. I don't want to spend 20 minutes prepping food, especially when I'm the only one that's going to eat it. Now, if there were other folks living in the house, that might be a different situation. If there were, like, family members living here and so on, then I'd be a whole lot more open to preparing somewhat more involved meals. But, since it's just me, I really don't want to go to all that lengths. I really don't. I just want something ready and done quickly and, some quick get it over with and eat it kind of thing. What's with all the holes? Jeez. Come on, Minecraft. Anyway, getting back to doing that. And my preferred plan that works for me, as long as I get serious with it and stick to it and do it without exception, is a low-carb plan. In this plan, I will track the carbohydrates, calories, protein, fiber, and such for everything I eat. And the determining factor that determines how much of what is carbohydrates. That is the main thing. I'm tracking the other things just to be doing it because it's right there in the nutritional information anyway, so why not? And because also I have a point to prove about carbohydrates and calories. It's one that I've talked about before, and I think I've done a reasonable job of proving it before, but I'm going to keep going at it. Anyway, besides, it takes an extra 2 seconds to write that down, so why not? And the way I'm doing it is for each day, I record those numbers for each thing that I eat. And that includes for drinking my coffee. Now, somebody's going to say, coffee doesn't have calories in it. Yes, you're right, it doesn't. But when you add milk and sugar, those have calories and carbs. Sugar, for example, has 15 calories per tablespoon. No, 15 calories per teaspoon. Abso-freaking-lutely. And that is undeniable, and it has to be taken into account. If I put it in my coffee, then it has to be recorded because I'm going to drink the coffee. Now, I have heard people say talk about all kinds of so-called unwritten rules of diets, and, it's like, if, like the 5-second rule. If you drop some food on the floor and you get it within 5 seconds and eat it, then it's okay and the calories don't count. Well, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but if you eat it, the calories count. I don't care what it is. And I don't care what conditions under which you obtained it or ate it or whatever. If you eat it, if it goes into your mouth and you swallow it, then the calories count. Always. Because that's just the way that works. And to make up any fun or whatever rules that say anything else is just, to me, a completely ridiculous thing that I won't be part of. I won't have any part of it. We're just going to go by the numbers, and the numbers are absolute. It's one of the things I like about numbers. Numbers are absolute. Now, granted, sometimes numbers can be absolutely vague as all get out, but still, they are much more absolute than almost anything else. And this is why, for me, tracking the numbers, including a daily weigh-in as part of the numbers that I'm recording and all that, for me, this works. Because numbers are an absolute, they are a helpful thing, and so on. Oh, get out of here. Imagine that. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm working on that, and I'm just getting started back to doing it today. And part of what I was doing that helped make this thing work was a daily video that discusses the results of the day before. And that will resume tomorrow on the 4th of May. And what that will be is it's a daily video in which I'm doing it as a hold myself accountable thing. In this daily video, which doesn't have to be very long, I will be giving the numbers for the day before, my weigh-in for that day, and then for the day before, the calories consumed, the carbohydrates consumed, which in a very real way they are the same thing, and also maybe anything that I might have to say about weight loss, or any inspiration about difficulties, or inspiration about anything, or talk about any difficulties I've had, or whatever. You know, it's a weight loss type of thing, and it's going to be a daily type of thing. It needs to be, because it's part of keeping myself accountable for the whole program and doing what I need to do, and this will help me do that, so I'm going to do this. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Second day. And actually, I thought I was coming up on the third, but apparently not yet. Okay, and now we do this and that, and throw down a torch, and throw down a bed, and sleep through the night, to hopefully prevent the spawnage of the unpleasantries of hostile mobs, and also give me a place to spawn that isn't all the way back at spawn if the unthinkable should happen. What is the unthinkable? Well, I don't think about that. Anywho, so a resumption of the weight loss updates is going to be starting as of tomorrow morning. And these videos, little short things as I intend most of them to be, they will be a daily thing, and they will be over and above additionally and so on to whatever other videos I may or may not be making or releasing that day. Yeah. And this will help me in other areas as well. And I am intending, my goal with the weight loss thing, where I want to go. I want to one day, soon-ish in the future, have an occasion at which I step on the scale and the number reported on there for my weight is 175 pounds. Yes, I know, that will make me skinny as a freaking rail. I am very aware of that. And it's one of the reasons that I've chosen that weight to go for. I want to be the skinny kid one more time. Well, again, I'm not going to say one more because, you know, just, I wish to be the skinny kid again. I was the kid that was so skinny that I could literally hide behind a telephone pole. I'm not joking. That is not an intended to be funny joke. I know a lot of people joke about things like that, but I literally could. I could turn sideways and hide behind a telephone pole. You know, I want to be like that again. I had all kinds of energy then. Of course, granted, I was a heck of a lot younger back then. You know, we're talking 45 years ago. I know. But still, I want to be like that again. Because I know that regardless of anything else, there will be more energy available, because I won't be using it to lug around hundreds of pounds of crap. You know? And if you're not using the energy to lug around a few hundred pounds of crap, then, oh, wow, it might actually be having that energy to use. And I need to pay some attention to obtaining wood. Ah, there we go. And we'll drop that out there, break this up, and move onwards. Kind of keeping an eye out, not only for trees, but for a good place for a end of the episode overnight hidey hole. Yeah. And yes, I know there's trees over there, but I've got a good long stretch of water. I'm going to roll with it while I can. In other news, there is a question. Light Gamer asks, I'm new to Skyrim, never played it. What's so good about it that inspires you to play it? Well, let's see. What's good about Skyrim? A lot of things. The fact that it is an open world kind of game. That it includes a very large chunk of terrain that I don't remember exact details. I've looked up and done a little bit of Googling on it in the past, and I think the area of terrain, and by area I mean the mathematical area, the length times the width, I think it works out to something like 14.5 square miles of terrain. That's actually quite a bit of terrain. And there is in that terrain literally hundreds of interior spaces, lots of dungeons and whatnot. And yes, there is the main quest line. There is quest lines for each of the major guilds and whatnot and so forth. But you know, there's a wonderful thing about the way the quest lines, the quest structure is set up in Skyrim, is that if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. I know that a lot of people who have played Skyrim, they'd end up going through the main quest line regardless, and usually end up going through most, if not all, of the various and sundry guild quest lines and so forth. But there's a lot you can do in Skyrim without messing with the quest lines at all. I know this. I've got a test character that I put together a while back just to do that. Let's see. This character is, if I recall correctly, about level 50 something. And they have not even done the quest called Dragon Rising, which is the one that gets everybody calling you Dragonborn, and you get sent off to High Hrothgar and all this stuff, you know. Have not done that yet. And so in that edition, in that version of Skyrim, in that Skyrim world, dragons are not an active thing yet. Meanwhile, the character continues to level and gain skills and be powerful and such like and whatnot. And basically, I'm doing it like it's a story. It is this character's story, and it just hasn't gotten to the point where it makes any sense at all for this character to be involved in the great doings of things in terms of the main storyline with the dragons and such. It hasn't gotten to that point. As a matter of fact, this character is a little bit different, because I used a mod called Alternate Start Live Another Life. And this character started out not as your typical Nord or Elven or Khajiit or anything like that in the infamous horse cart ride to Helgen, where you're on your way to get your head chopped off, which is how the vanilla game starts. And well, it starts like that, and then of course Alduin comes along and kind of interrupts the party and so forth. And this is how you manage to escape. So you actually owe your escape to the World Eater. Which is kind of funny if you think about it. But, now, about that hidey hole I was thinking about. But basically, this character started out in an underground lair as a vampire. And this vampire has been doing their thing. Whoa. Okay, time to dig in. Right here, right now. It's getting too dark to do anything else. Alright, torch, dig. Okay. And torches, and let's get something of closure here. And another torch, and some dig. Lots of dig. Okay, let's put back what shouldn't have been removed. There. Alright, yeah, and, but anyway, this character is just been proceeding along life. Proceeding along her way, living her life, and doing the kind of things that you would expect from a vampire who happens to be a pretty reasonable thief. Come on, pick that up. Now, make some boats and beds. Because it's already dark, and I should already be out of here. One boat. Because I've already got plenty here. Alright. Alright. Remind me, wool and wood for next episode. Absolutely. Because I'm running really short on both. And I also need to be paying attention to acquiring coal. In any event, that is it for today. I have yammered on for entirely too long. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.